Hello guys, Vengeancer here again. Always forgetting to turn off my chat. So I was supposed to record yesterday, but kind of got a little bit of hay fever, some allergies going on, so I was not feeling so well yesterday. Still not feeling great today, but well enough to be around for a bit. I want to talk first about BDO, and then I want to talk about some other stuff. Let me pull this out, and then we'll kind of move it around. So, early graduation for season is in, which I'm not going to be partaking in. I think I'm going to use my season to farm probably time fields. I should have been doing this all along, but time fields, and then there was something else that I was going to farm. Mostly time fields, I think. Because now coelacanths are on normal. You catch them pretty much. Mostly all you're catching is those. Relics are kind of non-existent now. And you're also getting these LE special seals. So I'm pretty much AFK fishing for the foreseeable future until I get enough to trade all this crap in. And plus there's some nice extra silver. We got some events going on that are giving us advice of AUX 25 to 30s, which are helping me out quite a bit. But the time fields I can trade with Fugar for 40 stacks. So I may end up getting on the season archer and going and farming a bunch of those. But what I wanted to update on is I went ahead and invested everything in Valencia, got rid of all my Grana workers, and I am now fully up and running, minus not having enough plywood materials. I need to do some processing, but for now, we're crafting steel crates. It's been a couple days and I'm already at 800 something. I have several workers. You can kind of see them around here. I have it written down. So for the wood workshops, I did not invest in 1-2 because 1-2 is just too good for lodging, and I needed the extra workers there. So mostly the 1-2-3 and 2-1, those are all lodgings. I took lodging everywhere I could, but for the wood workshops, I invested in 5-2, 7-2, 9-2, 11-2, 13-2, 14-2, 16-2, 17-2, and 19-2. And for the mineral workshops, I invested in 2-2, 3-2, 6-1, 8-2, 10-2. I have not done yet, but I plan on it. It costs 5 CP. 12-2 I invested in, 15-2 I invested in, and then 18-2 and 20-1. Though the 10-2, the 18-2, and the 20-1s, those three are going to cost me another 14 CP. So I'm out of CP, basically, is the story there. So those last three are currently not invested in. But I have enough workshops. I've got 6 mineral workshops and 9 wood workshops, and I need to do some plywood. So my crate production in Valencia is up and running, and of course I previously had everything connected, so I can transport these via the transport function all the way down to Grana and then just run down there and sell them to the trader. So that's taken care of. I wanted to do a little update on that. And mostly just AFK fishing to kind of replenish my stock of things. We're at 30.1 billion silver, 639 relics, which I need to run, and of course now we're at 196 coelacanths and 46 of these special seals. So it looks like I'm going to need overall 50, 70, that's 120, 120, and 70. So I'm probably going to need 190 of these seals for the one quest per family. And then the weeklies, you're going to need a whole bunch more of those. The magical elixirs I'm not worried about. The memory fragments are good, crownstones are good, and the advice of Volks I'm interested in, and the enhancement help kits I am interested in. The other two, I'm not. These weekly quests for the coelacanths, I've already done the other once per family that are decent. That I'm interested in are the Advice of Ox 40s and the enhancement help kits, so I'll need 19 a week until they end this off, which I've probably got more than enough already. The rest you can trade one for time-filled blackstones, and then I can take those time-filled blackstones on the seasoned character and trade them to Fugar for the Advice of Ox 40s. I think I can get 40 stacks out of them. It takes quite a few, but I don't plan on upping my gear anymore on the season, so it doesn't really matter there. I'll just trade those and grind those and trade them for stacks. So there you have it. That's my plan moving forward. I have to build up my stacks again so that we can do more Black Star enhancing, so that'll get me 40 and 50 stacks. I can also trade silver for dragon scales, and then when I do finally do season graduation, I'll get another 60 and 100 stacks. So we're doing pretty good on the stack front. I have a plan in place to take care of that. The other thing this leads me to talking about, and that has been kind of piquing my interest lately since I haven't had much time to play. I've been really busy outside of game. My wife suggested I take my camera with me and just record the crap that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, and that you all would like that. So maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not a vlogger. I never had any training or anything on using the camera. I know it's not too difficult, but like, I don't know the best shots to get all the features of the camera. I just have to feel it out. It'd be kind of just me setting it up, recording a bunch of crap, and then kind of just regurgitating it into a video. But I mean, if there's interest, then maybe I'll just do that. I don't know how interesting farm work is, but we definitely get up to a variety of things. Plus, there's always the honey-do list, right? So the wife has all kinds of stuff she wants that I kind of get final say on what I can and can't do, but there's a lot of things that she is pushing for. So maybe we'll record some of that. I don't know. But what it made me think about with all this time being AFK is something that one of you guys said. Christine, she left a nice comment on my trade rework video. And let me find it. Basically, she said the BDO game devs are desperate to have people logged in all the time, and that they refuse to basically, she refuses to overnight fish or do all the AFK stuff to keep her logged in 24/7. And I assume she, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. All I have to go off of is name. So, but I basically, she said she plays video games to play them, not let them autoplay themselves. And this was basically a comment in reaction to the trade rework, and saying that the trading is no longer going to be a viable thing for them because of the way BDO has changed it. And that got me to thinking about stuff. Why do we play games? I get that we do it for downtime and to relax and that kind of stuff, but I've been struggling recently to find what makes BDO relaxing for me. You can only grind monsters and run in a circle killing the same thing for so long before it just becomes a job, and it's no longer fun. And anyone that says grinding thousands of hours in the same spot, anyone that says that is fun is either lying to everyone else or themselves. Because grinding at thousands of hours in the same spot is not fun by any means. And leaving the game up to fish to accumulate items that, quite literally don't exist. They're just pixels on a screen. It it's not that I'm burnt out. It's just what's the point? BDO went from, it's always been a grind, and they've never lied about that or never hidden that. It's always a grind, whether you're grinding life skills or grinding monsters or grinding content or anything like that, quests. There's even that adventure journal that if you do 30,000 quests, you get a little bit of a thing out of it. I think you get like a 300 stack and like plus permanent enhancement chances or something. But now they've also got the seasons where you're basically just grinding characters to max soft cap level, like 62 or 61, whatever it is, and then moving on to another one at the end of it. At least for players that are already in the game. For new players, season's great because you get a head start on the grind. But it makes me think, what is fun in BDO? I enjoy listening to all the music and the background stuff. I enjoy just running around and seeing the world. But in terms of like actual fun playing the game, it's just one grind to the next. So it's like, what's the point? And I get they put in events to kind of make the world feel a little bit more alive and stuff, but this took me down a nostalgic road that led me all the way back to my childhood games. The first games that I played on the original Nintendo, and even before that, my dad had an Atari that I kind of messed around with for a little bit, which kind of dates me. But which I don't know where that Atari ended up. I wish I still had it. It's around somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where. We moved several times, so it probably just got lost in all the stuff. But the first Nintendo, I remember playing games. There were several of them, but of course Mario stands out, Donkey Kong stands out, and even like early on there was some racing game. It was like a motocross style game. Of course the graphics were terrible, and it was a side scroller. But most of those games, the objective was to just go through the levels and like actually beat them, right? And then you move on to the Super Nintendo we had, and then we eventually had an N64 and PlayStation and PlayStation 2. We had Game Boys, Game Boy Advances, all the things. And then Xbox came out, and that kind of changed everything. Xbox and PlayStation, and then Nintendo kind of just fell off the map for me. I had a GameCube, but after that, I didn't really buy any of the systems. It just kind of went downhill. I hated the Wii and the Wii U. The handhelds just aren't the same anymore. And now I'm into PCs. Switched over after college, but these types of games, the first MMO I ever played, and I did the intro to my channel on that Last Chaos, and I was thinking back to that. It was like, that's where games switched over. Because when I was a kid, Pokemon was a phenomenon, and it took off. I mean, I remember in grade school, everybody had cards, the kids had cards, I had a card collection, I still have it somewhere. And then, the games came out on the original Game Boy and then the Color, and we played those for years as a kid, and the idea was to go through, and it was like my first introduction to RPGs. So it kind of got spoiled, because even though the coding was kind of bad on those first few games, the first few generations, it was still a very story-driven, simple RPG. And then we were doing solo runs and Nuzlocke and stuff like that, before they became a thing. Because as kids, we played them so much, we had to come up with new ways to play it just to stay interested, right? And so we ended up replaying these things, and it was always to beat them. And of course, we knew how the game played because we'd played them 100,000 times. But there's still a main objective, and it led me to think about like going forward into my college days when I started MMORPGs, and it's like that's when games kind of lost an objective for me. I just played them to be a part of the world. Now, Last Chaos was and still is. It's an okay game, but in terms of like actual MMORPG elements, it's a terrible game. It's a Korean grinder. It doesn't have much crafting. They market it as having crafting. It does have crafting, but not much. There aren't many quests. They added some for the end game later on, but for the most part, you were just out there killing stuff and running around PvPing, and you had to drop all your gear from hunting monsters. Kind of like the same as BDO. But there wasn't really any real objective, and I remember we spent so many hours in that game that we're just hanging out, talking to people, being a part of the world. We'd go grind some, and I wasted hours on there, and I had nothing to show for it, and I kind of asked myself why. But I had fun. There was a lot of good times on there, and there was a lot of friends and everything. But BDO's not like that. It's a solo game, and I don't really interact with anybody. I log in, and like now, like right now, I'm sitting here AFK fishing. I'm next to a bunch of other characters that are AFK fishing. I mean, there's a lot of people from my guild. You can see them on my mini map and next to me there. And we're all just kind of sitting here AFK fishing these coelacanths. And it's like, nobody interacts really in general chat. There's some world chat or group chat that I usually turn off because it gets pretty bad. And like, it's not stuff that I want to record, and it's not stuff that I really want to participate in. It's awful. So, like, maybe things have just changed for me. I don't know. Maybe I grew up. But I was thinking about games and objectives and stuff. And I was watching a big streamer play through Resident Evil recently. And it's like, that game has an objective. And this is something I've had a hard time wrapping my mind around recently. Not even in BDO, but just games in general. It's like, there's no real consequence for dying or losing in the game. Like, I was watching this guy go through, playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, and he died. And then you just hit continue, and you start over, so you just keep, like, brute force. It's basically like a brute force attack. You just keep trying until you make it through. And that's how games have always been, and I think about that, and it's like, why? What's the point? Maybe I just don't enjoy action games anymore. I don't know. I really enjoy theory crafting. I enjoyed making different builds, which made me kind of recently look at Path of Exile, and it made me realize that's why I like League of Legends, because I can play the same champion, but I can build them 15 different ways. And each game, even though it's the same and the objective is the same, it's always different. Which is kind of cool, which made me realize that strategy games are really where, not like RTS, but like maybe they're considered action RPGs like Diablo or Lost Ark. I don't know, which is sad because Lost Ark kind of tanked recently. People have found out that there's not that much content there, and they're just kind of dropping off. Well, that's what happens with theme park games. You have people that run through all the content, and these big streamers do that. They're known for doing that. They'll play 15 hours a day for like a week when it first opens and run through all the content, and then they'll declare it dead game, and there's nothing left to do. Well, that's not how they're designed to be played. So, I don't know, maybe BDO is the same way, but there isn't really any end game. Like, what are you going to do? Go and just fight other players? Maybe that's maybe that's the objective, is to just fight other players. I don't know. But it just kind of, not really any burnout involved. It's just I don't really have time to put in 3, 4, or 5 hours a day, or even an hour a day recently. I've been able to log in the morning, do my, like, Imperial turn-ins, reset my fishing, feed my workers, do my farms, and then after that, nothing. I have to literally either come record something or take out to go do work outside. So I just don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling, or maybe I am secretly burnt out and I just haven't realized it yet. I don't know, but it's just things that I ponder, and I just wonder if other people feel the same way. Think you ever feel like you're wasting your time sometimes, or you don't have the time to dedicate to it? So why even in the first place? And I haven't had any bad experiences in the game that made me want to quit. Like a couple days ago when I did the Black Star enhancing, we got 3 pen attempts out of that, and yeah, they didn't go, but I didn't really lose anything. I ran out of stacks, so we quit trying, but I mean, I still got 30 billion silver, and I still have enough stacks to keep going duo on up, but I ran out of Pride of Duo stacks, so we farm some more and try again, I guess. But it's all for an item, just to have my character's name on an item that, I mean, I don't know what for, but I just feel like now I'm to a point in BDO where I can't make good content, because I literally have to grind for hours just to get items to attempt more Black Star enhancing, or... Uh-oh. Sense the presence of an enemy. Look at that. They're a bad guy. They're over there. Should we attack them? I'm gonna leave them be. I'm not gonna mess with them today. But, they're trying to sneak up and use storage, I bet. Oh, I bet somebody attacks them. That guy's obviously been having fun griefing low-level players or other players. I don't understand what... Oh, I know what he's doing. He's trying to scoop people up on a raft and dump them out in the middle of the ocean. Yep. Look at that. Messing up people's fishing. Should we go smash this guy? Well, I wasn't gonna do this, but... But that's what he gets. Maybe he should quit kidnapping people. That's kind of funny. You gonna revive again, bud? Because I will. I'll keep on killing you. That's something that makes me really mad, is people griefing other people and kidnapping them like that off of their fishing. I know that there's a button that they should have checked, but... Don't kidnap other people. Especially one of my guildies. He's over there. Yeah, way over there. Hiding. There's more than one over there. I bet they called their guildie over. Yep. That's hilarious. Well, I tried to save the griefer from being griefed, but, tried to save the guildie from being griefed, but whatever. Somebody else will go kill them up there. Yep, they're after him. That is pretty funny. See, I did my deed for now. Anyway, back to fishing coelacanths. Well, there's a little bit of exciting content, and make sure and check Do Not Board. Otherwise, you'll get, you'll get griefed like that. Anyway, back to what I was saying, rambling about, I would like to play some other games here and there, just to kind of mix things up, maybe, but it seems like every time I do that, the channel kind of tanks, and we don't get the views, we don't get new subs. It seems like we're kind of pigeonholed into BDO content, and only BDO content, but I'm just going to have to take the loss and start doing real-life content, and kind of break out of being just a BDO content creator, because I would like to be an MMORPG content creator. I would like to do single-player games. I really enjoyed the Red Dead Redemption 2 stuff, but nobody wants to watch that. I never finished that game. I just quit recording it because, like I said, it wasn't getting views. Nobody wanted to watch it, so. But that's the bad thing. There are so many good games out there, especially single players, and, you just, there's not much point in recording them if people don't want to see it. So I don't know what to do about that. I've got all, so I played Fortnite, right? And they offered a bunch of free games every few weeks. It rotates through their launcher, the Epic Games launcher, and I got all the Tomb Raiders through there. I've got a ton of other games, single-player ones as well, through there, lined up. I have a bunch of games on Steam that I could run through that are single-player, but I feel like if I start those instead of just BDO content, the channel's gonna kind of tank, and we've been on an upward climb recently. Up until me being too busy. I mean, spring and summer are busy, and I'm not going to have time to record every single day. So it's just one of those things, but just some thoughts. Nothing major. I don't see a griefer anymore. Maybe they learned their lesson. But just some ponderings and thoughts that reading comments has made me think about, but I won't subject you to any more of my randomness. You guys got your BDO update for the day, and a little bit of griefer crime fighting, and a few other thoughts, but that's where I'm at. I'm just fishing coelacanths because I'm taking the opportunity to build up some stacks and maybe do some season grinding when I can over the weekend. And that's pretty well where BDO is going right now. But, we grind for hundreds of hours to get 30 minutes of content. At least I do, anyway. So, the state of how fun it is, I don't know what all these arbitrary numbers mean. Why do I have a guru fishing? Like, why are my life skills all guru? What's the point of leveling them up? I mean, it's all just numbers, so. There's so much to life to experience than to waste it chasing a number that's ultimately going to get shut down. And I think that's why I'm having problems with pushing through with a lot of the grinding that I have to do on here, is because the games that I spent so much time in doing this exact same thing, putting hours in to build up something, they've just been shut down, and it all just goes away. It's like that was my time. Those were hours of my life. I'll never get them back, and it's all just gone. Goes back to like Terra was shut down. Had a lot of fun on Terra. I loved playing the Stronghold PvP battleground thing because it was You'd storm a castle and try and take it or defend the castle, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I played I guess they were called Berserker. I don't know. It had a big old axe. I enjoyed that class a lot. But then Forsaken World was shut down. I played a mage on there. I really enjoyed that game too. Played Perfect World International for a while. I played several different classes on there. Never got too far. I wasn't ever really super in-game. I leveled up, but I was never super in-game. Didn't grind the gear as much. It was hard for me to grind money on there. I had a hard time. So I ended up leveling up way too quick, and then I was behind in gear, and so it kind of put me in a bad spot. But I'm pretty sure that the game still goes, but it's just so pay to win now that I just can't on that. And Last Chaos is still going. Played Rift for not very long. There was the other one that I played. What was that game called? It was like Terra, but I don't remember what it was called. Oh, Ion. Aion. Ion's how I say it. Aion. Played that for a little bit. Didn't get very far in it either because it was so grindy. And I played it right after it went free to play. I didn't want to pay the sub for it, and it was kind of just like, eh. But most of these games around, one that I really enjoyed that I could never really get very far in was Archlord, and they shut that one down too. But I enjoyed that game a lot. The atmosphere, the way the world was built, it was so cool. It was such a cool concept, but it just didn't get the following that it needed, so it got shut down. So a lot of these games that I put hours into just shut down. So I've kind of gotten to where I don't trust the companies anymore. You know, it's like all this stuff is shutting down, and I'd rather have the time. Now that I'm a little bit older, time means a little bit more to me than whenever I was younger. So it's just maybe I have changed. I don't know. Still love games though. I don't plan on going anywhere, but maybe my mission in games, it should shift a little bit. Instead of trying to be part of a world, maybe I should step back a little bit and play games that I have more fun with. I don't have to grind so much in. That's why I always flock to League of Legends, because I could come up with 45 minutes to play a match in and then put it down, and I don't feel like if I'm not logged in, I don't have the fear of missing out, you know. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not sure, but if anybody has anything to add to my podcast style ramblings, then put it in the comments. I do read them, and I do appreciate all the support. And maybe I will jump into another game and record a little bit before having to head out today. We'll see. I'll think about it. I've been wanting to do a Last Chaos game anyway, like a video on it, because I finally got my account back, so maybe I'll jump in there for a little bit and kind of check things out. We'll see. But again, appreciate all the views, appreciate all the kind comments and the likes. It means the world to me. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And as always, until next time.